Nik Bonitto is here with us right now. He's had 13 and a half sacks this past season for the Broncos, and he's kind enough to join us right now with the Broncos back in the playoffs. Nick, appreciate the time. Thanks so much for doing this. Congratulations on obviously playing in a postseason game coming up this Sunday, and how you been?
I appreciate you, by the way, and I've been good, man. Just being able to do this, it's been a long time here since we've been able to clinch a playoff berth. So, just being able to be a part of this group has been amazing.
So obviously in this league, you either have the quarterback or you don't. I'd be lying to you right now if I said, oh, before the season, I thought you guys were going to the postseason. I didn't have high expectations. What was able to click with this team, and when did you kind of know that on the other side of the ball, man, this guy Bo Nix, he's pretty damn special for the Broncos?
Yeah, I feel like as far as clicking, man, we can probably go back to last year. I mean, I feel like we had a lot of guys that came back from last year's team that kind of, witnessed a little bit of success with that 5-game winning streak, and just being able to have that type of winning feeling, and bringing those guys back from last year, and just continuing to grow with the new guys, like Bo, like you said. He's been nothing but great since he's been here. Been a leader since day one, since he stepped in the building, and I couldn't be more happy to have him as my QB. So,
But what's impressed you the most, just wondering about Bo Nix, when you look back at the regular season that he's been able to have?
yeah, I mean, just being able to just continuously just play, and just being able to move on from mistakes, and being able to continue to lead in the way that he does, and lead the offense in the way that he does. I mean, for guys that that are his age, and guys that come in the league so early, with him being a rookie, a lot of guys, they kind of don't react to those type of moments where he may throw a pick, well, and it's like, now what? To where he's now reacting and just trying to lead the team, and just trying to uplift the guys. And I feel like that kind of goes a long way, and it spreads in the locker room. So,
Nik Bonitto here with us. Like, you didn't come out of nowhere this season. I know last year you had 8 sacks, but to have 13 and a half this year, there's been a lot more focus on you, and there's been a lot more praise individually. I know you're a team guy, but how did you make that jump from a good season last year to having a great individual season this past season?
yeah, just kind of looking at where I was last year, looking back at the film, and just seeing where I can get better, from that standpoint. And then also looking at, guys around the league, and, seeing, who kind of models my game, and what type of stuff that, that they do that I can put in my game to make myself a little better. And probably just, knowing the schemes a little bit better, as far as like, what teams like to do, how tackles like to set, and just quarterback depth and stuff like that. So I feel like all that film studies kind of helped a lot this year for sure.
Now, this is your 3rd season in the league. I know you're a younger player. Out of curiosity, though, when you were kind of growing up, or maybe even the last few years, or connections that you just have now in the NFL, who are some of those players that you model your game after, or try to take a few things from?
Yeah, obviously, you got to start off with the GOAT, Von Miller. That's one of my guys I've been watching since I was a kid. I watch a lot of Brian Burns as well. Jonathan Grenard, those are kind of the guys that I kind of look at, on a week in, week out basis, and kind of take, from their game a little bit and try to incorporate it into mine.
And that's something. I know you talked about your guy, Von Miller. Clearly, you being in Denver, you're going up against the Bills this weekend, as you're going to try to send the Bills home unhappy. But, man, it's still got to be a little surreal going up against Von Miller in a playoff game, knowing that he's one of their best defensive players and you're one of the best defensive players for the Broncos.
No, 100%. And, every time I get a chance to, we played against them the last 2 years, whether my rookie year is preseason and last year in the regular season. And, whenever he's on the field, trust me, my eyes are glued to him, trying to see what he's doing, even when, I'm trying to get some rest. So, but going against him is going to be amazing. Hopefully he's not too amazing against us, but it's going to be great to see him for sure.
But what have you been able to take, just wondering, from Shawn Peyton? We all know that he gets the credit for being a brilliant offensive-minded head coach in this league, and you play on the defensive side of the ball, but we know that he's one of the best head coaches in this league, period. So what has really Shawn done these last 2 years, not only for the team, but for your career?
Yeah, he's just built a culture here, man. I mean, just from day one, he's had, what he's had, and, and he's trying to bring it here. And you can tell the guys were buying in, and you can see it in the way we play. We all play with joy. We all play for each other. And it's a credit to him. I mean, just the culture that he's built in the last 2 years, and just the way he's able to motivate guys to get ready to play on a week in, week out basis is pretty impressive. So.
And there was so much made last year with Russ being there and the relationship with Russ and Shawn. I know Russ is now with the Steelers. He's getting ready for his own postseason game as well. With Russ no longer being in the locker room, do you think that kind of helped the locker room when you look back at it for this past season?
I wouldn't say that to a certain extent because Russ was great while he was here. I mean, yes, another leader that we had that really helped us a lot last year, but I feel like just the vibe of it's just a little bit different with how young of a team that we have, and just being able for all of us to relate to each other and hang out more. I feel like that's kind of helped a lot this year for sure.
Nik Bonitto here with us. There's been a lot of conversation about Defensive Player of the Year. TJ Watt's name's been thrown into the conversation. Your name's been thrown into the conversation. And also one of my favorite players in the NFL, Pat Surtain, has been thrown into that conversation as well as your teammate. Just how about what he's been able to bring to this team? It's been so special. And, man, I talked to Champ Bailey before the season started, he said to me, it's a legendary Bronco. Hey, there's nothing that he can't do that I was able to do. So you got a real special one there, obviously, that you know.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm vouching for him for DPOI, man. I know the type of work that he puts in, and when you can just go out there and have a guy where coach tells you go guard the best receiver, and you won't have to hear about him for the rest of the game. People don't understand that type of impact that has on the defense, and I'm happy that we have him because there's not many of them in this league. If not, he probably is the only one. So trust me, he has my vote. So.
When you go up against the Bills this week, and I know you can't tell me the game plan, but how about the challenge that Josh Allen does present for you guys?
Yeah, just knowing that he's a guy that can do so much, whether it's with his arm or with his legs. So for us up front, it's going to be big that we have to contain him and try to keep him in the pocket because, I mean, when he gets out of there, there's no telling what he can do, and he can make so many things happen outside of the pocket. So, just that and can probably just controlling the run game for sure, I would say.
I know you don't want to kind of psych yourself out before the game, but it's not a normal week, right? If you guys don't win, the season is over. How about how it's been so far? I know it's early in the week, only being Tuesday, but managing that this is a playoff week and it's all on the line this weekend.
Yeah, man, and I feel like we've kind of had that kind of the sense of urgency that you're talking about for the last 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, with it being one game and we're in, so going to Cincinnati and playing on the road, and going to the Chargers playing on the road, those were two playoff type environments right there, and I feel like those two type of games are going to be able to prepare us for what's to come in Buffalo. So I feel like we'll be ready.
And it was obvious early on that you guys were going to win that game up against Kansas City, but once the game does end, you guys officially are going to the postseason. What was the scene like in that locker room, knowing you guys were able to celebrate something and officially punch your ticket to the postseason?
It was amazing because, it was just that feeling for like those last 3 weeks where like we were just waiting on it to happen, just chasing that 10th win. And when it finally did, everybody was happy. But I think everybody was more happy with just being able to do it for guys like Garrett Bowles and Cortland Sutton, the guys that've been here for so long and kind of haven't been able to reach that far and to get to the playoffs. But being able to do that for them, it felt great. So everybody was happy.
Not many people had you guys in this spot. Not many people thought this was going to be a successful season, Nik Bonitto. Did you guys kind of thrive off that? Did that galvanize this group with how many people were doubting you guys along the way?
Yeah, 100%. I've seen all the stuff with like us having the worst roster. We're gonna finish with like 5 wins, 4 wins, and it's like you would have seen last year. Like we had almost everybody coming back, so I don't know why they would make those type of predictions. But yeah, we definitely took it personally in the off season. We heard all the noise and just the way we worked in the off season and being able to come into the regular season with that chip on our shoulder. I knew we were going to be better than what the experts had us going to be. So,
and you know this, no one's going to give you a chance coming up on Sunday. So I'm sure you're already privy to the analysis that's out there, correct?
Yeah, that's just how we like it, though. We're just going to go ahead and play football. So,
well, before we let you run, when you look back at this regular season so far and what you've been able to accomplish, I know that you said you were confident earlier on that this team was going to be special, but was there one moment that you remember from this past season that you go, okay, this group really does have something special brewing? It's not just thinking it, but we're starting to see it on the field.
Yeah, I would say probably, we went to Tampa week 3, and then we ended up staying in West Virginia between the Buccaneers game and the Jets game. And just seeing how we started off 0-2, and then we responded to win those two type of games back to back. After all the circumstances with us staying in West Virginia and having to stay together and bond together that whole week. I feel like that kind of is when I knew we had a special group, and we can do a lot of great things this year. So I'll probably just say that moment.
And I'll be honest, because I was one of those experts. I say that in air quotes. That early start to that Jet game, at one point, Bo Nix had -7 passing yards. I think I have a tweet out there somewhere. It's like Shawn should have just stayed at Fox. For you guys to pull out that game in those terrible conditions and all that you guys were battling, like you said, man, that was one impressive performance that you guys had up against a Jet team that at the time a lot of people thought was going to be a pretty good team this year.
Yeah, 100%. And just that game in particular kind of showed the grit of our team, and where the conditions weren't that good, and we were going against a really good team at the time. And just being able to find a way on the road to just pull that out, it just showed like the toughness of our team, and how much we love each other. So
how have you been handling the success? Just wondering, because now, right, no one's sleeping on you as a player with what you've been able to do. You've gotten more national praise in the NFL this year than you ever had before in your career so far.
yeah, I just kind of stay level headed with that stuff. You can never get too high or too low. At the end of the day, my biggest focus is to just go out there and be the best player I can be every week. Just showcase the hard work and that I put in throughout the week, and the talent that God blessed me with. So.
For people, and hey, a lot of people have seen you play. We also saw your touchdown. We've seen the 13.5 sacks this year. But for people that haven't seen Nik Bonitto play so far this year, for whatever the reasons are, I don't know why, what would you say is the way to describe your game if someone hasn't seen you strap it up and play on the NFL gridiron?
I would just say disruptive. I mean, in all parts of the game, whether it's in the run game, in the pass game, even when I'm in coverage, I just always try to find ways to make an impact on the football game. And I feel like I do a pretty good job at that. So, I mean, that was one word that can describe me. I'll probably just say that.
Well, hey, it's been a heck of a season so far. Good luck coming up on Sunday. And it should be some good battle up against the Buffalo Bills, man. They got a good offensive line in Buffalo, so it should be a fun one.
100%. We'll be ready for sure. Appreciate you.